What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for joining us here today. It is excellent to have you here. And today I'm actually doing a little bit of pistol practice. Specifically speaking, I'm working on the marksmanship component over the speed component today. And I did a video on this a long time ago, and I thought, you know, what the heck? There's a lot of new pistol shooters, a lot of people out there buying handguns for the first time. And I thought, what the heck? We'll redo it and show you guys the drill that I use, or the exercise that I use to help me shrink those groups down to a pinpoint. And to do that, it's really simple. You only need one thing in addition to your pistol and some ammunition, and that is this. This is a piece of range aggregate. You could also use a piece of brass or shotgun hull or something like that. Something that you found on the range. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. Today I'm going to be using range aggregate because these are number 57s, and basically you hit them with a projectile and they turn into sand. So reasonably safe to shoot at the distances that we're going to be shooting. For today's video, I'm going to be using this guy. This is my M&P 2.0 Compact. I've done a video on this thing previously, and the reason I picked this handgun for today's video is the same reason that I picked it for that other video, which is because I shoot this gun the worst out of all the handguns that I own. I'm not one to complain about trigger design or anything like that, or weight or anything like that. But whoever the engineer is who designed this trigger should be drug out on the lawn and publicly flogged for their insolence. This thing is absolutely terrible. But the reason I keep it in there is because it's a different look. I could very easily go to an Apex kit, but this is challenging for me, so I've kept it in this gun. Speaking of a little bit more challenging, this gun has XS big dot sights on it. These are my go-to defensive sights, and the internet seems to think that you can't hit anything with these. Today we're going to prove that that is not accurate whatsoever. The other reason that I choose to use the XS sights, besides the fact that they're simple and fast acquisition, is that they are super rugged. I beat the heck out of all my guns, you guys know that. But we also did a test a few months ago where we ran 1,000 rounds through a Glock in less than 20 minutes, just specifically to test one of the new offerings from XS. So if you didn't miss that one, I'll have it linked in the description box down below. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and set this drill up.
That's an awesome shot right there.
So to simplify this a little bit before we get started, we're going to determine the offset of the gun. And what I mean by that is you can think of two parameters. You have the point of aim, which is how you perceive the sights relative to the target, and then you have where the gun distributed the bullets. And they may not always be the same. And what we're going to do is actually determine the distance where those 2 points coalesce. So what we're going to do, real quick, loading out of my Wilder tactical rig. By the way, if you guys want more information on that, full video on that, 6, 7, 21 feet. And I'm just going to aim at the bolt. Zeroed out at 21 feet. Yours may not do this. You may have to select a different distance. It really depends on the sight setup as well as the individual firearm. We're going to start out with a decent sized one. We can work our way down after that. We're doing this live. But I will tell you exactly what I did. I punched the trigger, causing the gun to go low and left. So this is a diagnostic thing. You can see exactly what you're doing wrong when you're doing something like this. And there you have it. A little bit smaller. I like these pieces of brick because they contrast really well against the soil over there. Hit it again. There you have it. So I suppose the question would be, is that level of marksmanship required? And to that I would say, I don't know. I have no idea what the scenario is going to be. However, I can definitively say that enhancing aptitude in firearms fundamentals is always a positive thing, and this sequence absolutely makes you work for it. You have to keep those sights aligned, and you have to not move the orientation of the gun until you break that trigger and that projectile leaves the barrel, or you will absolutely miss. as I demonstrated. But I would say what is required, at least in my mind, is our message from today's sponsor, the United States Concealed Carry Association. We spend a lot of time, energy, and money on this side of the equation of the defensive encounter. We spend money on ammunition, equipment, spend time training, spend time practicing, but what a lot of us neglect is the other side of the equation, the aftermath of that defensive shoot. And that's what the United States Concealed Carry Association is here to protect you against. The USCCA is an organization built from the ground up around the ideal that everyone has the right to life, and thus a right to defend it. Most of the time when we think of organizations built around this concept, we're talking about developing skill sets to be used to preserve life, weapons training, medical training, etc. While the USCCA does offer resources in that area, their major membership draw is their concealed carry insurance. They are literally in the business of preserving the liberty of those who chose not to be a victim and to take personal responsibility for themselves and those around them. We don't have time in this short snippet to go through all the intricacies of each level. If that is something you guys would like, I can absolutely do a dedicated breakdown video if the demand is high enough. Comment below. The 3 membership levels, Gold, Platinum, and Elite memberships, have lots of checkboxes. You can go to their website and find out more on these, but they really distill down to 2 areas. Civil defense protection, up to $2 million. For anybody who isn't speaking the legalese well, civil defense protection is that homicidal maniac you fed an HST to. His family sued you, wrongful death sued, or some ignorance like that. The second thing we're really talking about is a stipend for defense expenses, like a retainer for your criminal defense attorney, general defense expenses like filing stuff, and things like your bail. With the elite level, that tops out at about $250K. In the description box down below, I'll have a link where you can find more information on the USCCA and the different membership packages they offer. If you use my link, I do get a little bit of a kickback, so I greatly appreciate it if you guys do use that if you're interested in the service. I think the best way to sum this one up is a quote from the top of their website. Bad things happen to good people every day. In the next 26.2 seconds alone, someone in the U.S. will be a victim of a violent crime. If you carry a gun, which you should, to preserve your life so you can be there for your loved ones, but you also owe it to them to not put them in financial jeopardy should your actions come under scrutiny. Guys and gals, thank you for listening to that message and taking heed to it. Of all the things that I have pushed on you guys throughout the years, whether it's the belts, the pouches, the bullets, the armor, the concepts that we talk about here on the channel, I would say that this is probably the most important thing that I have ever brought to your attention. And the reason I say that is I have friends that have been involved in defensive shootings, and it is an absolute nightmare. Even if you don't have a prosecutor that is up for re-election and is trying to make an example of you. I just want to put this in context for you guys really quick. When you get arrested, and if you shoot somebody, whether it's a good shoot or not, you will get arrested. When you get arrested, they are going to take your phone from you. How many of you, 1, have an attorney, and 2, have his number memorized? I just went through a divorce, and that man was probably the most important person in my life for like 3 months, 4 months, and I don't have his number memorized. So the United States Concealed Carry Association is that intercession for you when you really need it. Anyway, off my soapbox, what we're going to do now is we're going to continue to go down. We're going to continue to get smaller and smaller pieces of gravel and see if I can hit them. And this is going to be really ugly. Because why not? This is one of the fragments from one of the last ones that I shot. We're just going to try it, see what happens. So why not go full unprofessionalism, completely forget to turn that camera on before I did the shoot. I did hit it. It took me a few tries, 2 additional tries, I will admit. But because I didn't film it, I have to try it again. So here we go again. I'm unsure if I can find one of comparable size, so we might as well go smaller yet again. And this time, I'm going to show that we can use just about anything. We're going to go ahead and put this piece of 9mm brass on top. call the video done. But in all seriousness, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're new to the shooting sports, or if you're just working on your fundamentals, this is something that can absolutely help you dial those groups down. If I can do this, so can you. This is not some voodoo magic crap that just happened. You can absolutely do this. I have not touched this gun in 4 months, and if I can just pull it right out of the holster and do that, then so can you. It comes down to sight alignment, sight picture, and then squeezing that trigger in such a way that the gun does not move its orientation until the bullet leaves the barrel. And you can do that. Absolutely you can. If you guys found this video interesting and informative, then please smash that subscribe button down below, like, share it around. It really does help out. And speaking of helping out, we talked about a bunch of stuff in today's video, including some products and specifically the United States Concealed Carry Association. Over on the affiliates page, there are discounts and things like that for the things that I mentioned and some other stuff. And I made a point to put the affiliate link for the USCCA at the top of the page because I do think it is something that everybody should be walking around with in their pocket. And I'm not trying to high pressure sales you guys or anything like that. I'm just not a very good salesman. I admit that. But that said, I do get a little bit of a kickback from the USCCA if you guys use my link to sign up. Again, I just think it's something that everybody should be walking around with anyway, and I do appreciate it if you do use our link, but obviously it's more important that you're using the service than I'm getting paid. So if that's a deal breaker for you, if that's something that makes you feel dirty, then that's fine. Just get it through some other means. There are lots of, I don't want to say lots, there are multiple entities out there offering concealed carry insurance. It is a rising tide in the political climate that we live in, if you will, that you may absolutely need some legal protection if you are involved in a defensive encounter. You almost absolutely guarantee that you will need some kind of legal representation, and hopefully the USCCA can pad you if that should come to bear. Anyway, I hope that I did a good enough job on today's video that we'll find you guys back here again on a future one here at the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for watching.